Good evening. I would like to call to order the Kaiser City Council in regular session. It is Monday, August 15th, 2022, and ask our city recorder to please call roll.
Councilor Herrera.
Here.
Councilor Reed.
Here.
Councilor Kohler.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Council President Smith.
She is excused.
Councilor Starr.
Here.
And Councilor Duran.
Here.
Thank you all. Would you please rise if you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Thank you for joining us on this lovely, warm August evening. We have nothing under special orders of business this evening, and I have one committee report. Actually, two. And I will start off with Jane Herb, who's going to talk about the Planning Commission report. Hi, Jane.
Hello. Hi.
You guys have been busy.
I think we're going to get busy again, apparently. So good evening, Mayor Clark and City Council. I'm Jane Herb. I'm here to report on the Planning Commission meeting we had last Wednesday. The city invited two people from the Department of Land Conservation and Development to talk to us about climate-friendly and equitable communities rulemaking that has been in the works for Oregon's metropolitan areas. These rules need to be implemented because we are missing our pollution reduction targets and to address inequity from land use and transportation policies. So they're focusing on transportation because it's our biggest source of pollution at 38%. The goal for the Salem Keizer area by 2050 is to get to 30%. So the rules are focused on two areas. The first is a focus on climate-friendly areas, encouraging parts of our city to reduce the need for cars, reform parking requirements, and support electrical vehicle charging. This could be similar work to what we've already done on the River Cherry Overlay District, but we'll need to study to see if that qualifies. So there may be changes needed to be in compliance with these climate-friendly areas of the city. So the second focus is on parking mandates, and we may have to update our development code in that area. For example, it's possible we will not be able to require developers to build parking spaces. Next steps are studies that need to be completed, parking reform and EV conduit requirements by the end of next year. So this is happening really quickly. Then over the coming 3 to 4 years, there are requirements for regional scenario planning, TSPs, and performance measures. There may be resources available through ODOT or other places to help with regional planning. The planning commissioners, as you might suspect, had a lot of questions about how this is going to impact Kaiser and all the work we've recently done on the development code. Lastly, Shane Witham updated us on projects in Kaiser. Chick-fil-A opened, which was exciting. Permits have been received to build 112 apartment units at Verda and Shamawa, the Cow property. Construction has also started for 66 new apartment units on the east side of River Road, just north of Lock Haven. And there will be a new mini storage facility at Windsor Island and Lock Haven. Our next meeting is on September 14th at 6 p.m. and all are welcome to come to that. And that's it for me. Do you have any questions?
Questions? And if people are wondering, hearing this report about the climate-friendly and equitable community rulemaking, which was adopted by the Land Conservation and Development Commission and the action at our last council meeting to join with the city of Springfield and many cities across and counties now across the state who are moving to stay those rules, which are about 400 pages. You hit some very, very small portions of these 400 pages of rules. And there's a lot of concern among cities and counties across the state that they are going to undo really good work that cities and counties have already done, in addition to being based on an executive order instead of legislation. So this conversation will continue. Kaiser has, as you indicated with the Planning Commission, of course, already done fantastic work to create areas that could be considered, under our definitions, climate friendly and equitable. And we want to do more. And we want to be able to continue the great work that our Planning Commission and Planning Department has done without being told at what angle we need to trim trees in a state rule, et cetera. So just wanted to, in case people are wondering where that stands, that is in motion. But thank you for the tremendous work and all the commissioners for helping to continue to update and improve our planning code, and also Deshane and his crew. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Northeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association. Tammy, always love to hear what's going on in Northeast Kaiser. Summer break? I don't think so. You guys are in full steam.
Hopefully soon. Okay, Tammy Guns, Kaiser. A quick update. As everybody's aware, we had a booth with Kaiser Fest. We spoke to 1,682 people.
Bravo.
Unbelievable numbers. It was absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
Fantastic.
It was amazing. A quick touch on the budget. We started with 8. We used $320 to get started with Kaiser Fest and another $200 on supplies. Jackie and I actually got rid of all our printing. We had to close 30 minutes early because we had nothing left to give out. So it was pretty amazing. Some of the concerns to briefly touch on, which there's many and I did not include nearly all of them. A couple of people are concerned with the ADA access to medical appointments with taking public transit. And I know that we have something in the works with Chariots that is going to be in the works to kind of help with that. There's some concerns with Chairlift not being affordable enough for people as all the prices of everything increased. Increase on Verter, Dearborn, Chemawa, and Mandarin, as well as Lock Haven because of the new Chick-fil-A, which is amazing. And when Jackie and I walked by, the line went all the way around for at least a half mile. We opted not to attend that one. Some of the citizens would like to consider a development plan for a community center for Northeast Kaiser. I don't know a whole lot about that part yet, as they're gonna come with kind of a plan of action at the next meeting, hopefully, to kind of share, but they wanted access to a community pool, teaching and learning environments to help with their families who are in school. Parents just can't understand the new curriculum with math and whatnot because they didn't get to do all of that. They were working in fields and whatnot. So some of this is way above their head and they want to learn the material right along with the kids. So I'm all for that. Other than that, I don't have anything at the moment.
Oh, that was quite a lot. And also some opportunity for partnering with the school district and especially our early learning hub partners who can really help out with some of the things mentioned for
Also working
parents.
on building a partnership with the Kaiser Library to kind of help with that and maybe get some tutoring involved and whatnot. So we're developing a plan for that.
Fantastic. And also with Chariots, sounds like there's going to be opportunity. Our district representative is Ramiro Navarro, and I would encourage you to email some of those questions and concerns to him so he can follow up.
Perfect.
Questions for Tammy? How was National Night Out?
We did not have a national night out this year.
Okay.
We couldn't get involvement, although everybody loaded over to the church across from us and were lighting off fireworks.
Oh dear.
It was crazy. Yes, they know.
Okay, we'll have that. There we go. Yeah, we had a good conversation about that at our last work session, and there are some options that we actually discussed for helping to equip our community to better educate, inform, and when necessary, enforce that, to be good people and not blast stuff off that shouldn't be blasted off. All right, thank you very much. Any other committee reports for this evening? Thank you, Matthew.
Yes.
Good to see you.
You too. Mayor Clark, councilors, city staff, I'm here to report on the Parks Board. So we had representation from West Kaiser Neighborhood Association at the last meeting. They're planning a work party, I believe, in the morning of September 11th. Matt Lawyer is working with them. They've got a bunch of wood chips and things that they're going to move around. So Matt was going to work with them to take care of that, hoping it didn't interfere with any of the city's ceremonies for September 11th. So I think that there was going to be some coordination with that, with them. We approved some new bands, the Eagle Eyes Band. I don't know if you guys have pulled them up. They are pretty poppin'. They're a very good band. Yeah, look at all the heads nodding back there. So they were supposed to play, I believe, this weekend, but they're pushing that out. They weren't able to get a hold of them and everything. So, but a new band. Also, next month, in lieu of the Parks Board meeting, we are going to do a parks tour. So I believe that is set for the first Monday in September. I believe that's what that is.
Second Monday.
Second Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All the parks reports came back. All the parks are looking really good, very clean. Robert and his crew are doing a fantastic job out there. There was a concern with, at Kaiser Rapids Park, a lot of tinder and a recent fire there. So just being a little bit more cautious and aware people are bringing barbecues out there and barbecuing out in the fields and things like that. So that can cause some issues. Also, the vandalism is a key point. Clint Holland came to the park, or the board meeting last, or Tuesday, and expressed some additional concerns. We know that Kaiser Police has been dealing with a lot of vandalism, and it was shared that there's discussion on cameras that are going to be going into some of the parks or all the parks. So that's comforting there as well. Last thing, actually that was it. That was the last thing.
That
So
was
there
the
we go.
last thing. All right, fantastic questions.
Any questions?
Actually, before we do that, Mr. Brown, did you want to talk a little bit about the camera discussion for our parks? Because yes, we've had significant vandalism, especially at 3 of our parks.
Yeah, I've been able to meet with many of you to talk about that, and also with staff about putting in some type of enterprise camera system. We have some camera systems here at City Hall, but looking at something that would speak to each other all over the community, and we've initiated some talks with some vendors, but we'll have to, it'll be a process to go through to get to where we want to be. But it makes a big difference. We've seen wherever we put, in previous cities that I've been with, wherever we put up cameras, things stopped immediately. So.
Thank you. That's great to get that started. So that's very good to know. And thank you to everybody who's been persistent in making sure that we keep bringing this up until we get to yes. Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Batiste, I understand that there was a report on the Little League
Microphone.
Park. Mr. Batiste, thank you. Is there a report on what's going on in the Little League Park, how that's working this year?
I don't remember anything coming up about that the last meeting, no.
Okay.
I mean, I went out and looked. My report on the park, it was clean, it was nice, very well maintained. So, I mean, if that's the report you're looking for, it's looking very nice.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you for your work. Oh, have you guys picked out the parks for the parks tour, or is that going to be a surprise?
Yes.
Inquiring mind wants to know.
Palmacia, Kaiser Rapids, and Bear Park were suggested.
Okay. Councilor Herrera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. How come you guys never picked Country Glen? It's been 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, Councilor Herrera, I looked because I have a vested interest as well in that park, and it happened, I think, in 2019. So,
Well, that's, what is that, 4
Three.
years?
Three.
Okay, so-
it was 3.
Yeah, I was taking part of it, but I was just curious, because there's some things that I'd like to show, or what's going on there sometime. I've been talking to Robert about it. Oh, by the way, and the trees are dead. Two of them anyway, 3 of them,
Gotcha.
so, thanks a lot.
All right.
I'll bring that back to the board.
All right, thank you so much. Any other committee reports this evening? Public comment. This time is provided for citizens to address the council on any matters other than those on the agenda scheduled for public hearing. We have one public hearing scheduled this evening, forming Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District and an ordinance spreading the assessments to the Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District. If you're here for that, stand by. Otherwise, we will accept public testimony at this time. Written comment, we do have one on the dais that will not be entered into the record because it violates our requirements that comments, both written and verbal, not be disparaging of people's character or motivation. We did receive one in our boxes this evening from Mr. Roy Price. The topic is the work along Labish Ditch and the tree canopy that will be conducted by our environmental division. We received another email from a Ms. Letarte, who only addressed it to me, but it was on the same topic. So it looks like Ms. Westerman will be reaching out to the neighbors with additional information on that. So with that, is there anyone who would like to address the council under public testimony this evening? Okay. Seeing no hands up or people coming forward, we will then go to our public hearing. I'd like to open the public hearing on resolution forming Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District and an ordinance spreading assessments to Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District. This goes to Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. This is similar to the streetlight districts that we get frequently. This additional one for Tepper Crossing in the Gubser neighborhood behind Kaiser Station.
Okay. Any questions from the City Council on the report from the engineer or from staff? Okay. Is there anyone who would like to address the council? I have no one signed up for this public hearing. Seeing none, any questions before we close the public hearing? The public hearing is now closed. Councilor Reed.
I move the Kaiser City Council adopt Resolution R 2022 forming Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council adopt Resolution R 2022 forming Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously with one absent, and that's Council President Smith. Councilor Reed.
I move the Kaiser City Council adopt a bill for an ordinance spreading assessments to Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council adopt a bill for an ordinance spreading assessments to Tepper Crossing Street Lighting Local Improvement District. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously with one absent, Council President Smith. That concludes public hearings for this evening and takes us to administrative action. Item 8A, which is the Kaiser Public Arts public display areas, and this goes to, scrolling up, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. KPAC, or the Kaiser Public Art Commission, was previously given authority to display the art within the living room area, which is just immediately out of the council chambers, in the 2 gallery hallways. The establishing ordinance specifies that the discretion for them to move art is subject to your approval, and the council chambers have not been added to this list. So you'll see 2 paintings that are leaned up against these acoustic panels, and what they are looking for is permission to be able to display arts on the 2 panels on both sides of the council chambers. And in this case, they're landscape, but you'd be giving them permission to choose the display in the room.
Fantastic. Questions or comments? Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Brown, is your understanding that they are going to change these on a regular basis, or would this be a permanent location for these?
I think by giving them authority, it would be up to their discretion. But I don't know if Councilor Reed has a better feel on if that it's more permanent or a rotation. These are pieces that the city owns, I believe, and so. Did you get any?
Yeah, I can address that.
Councilor Reed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yes, the Kaiser Public Arts Commission, they are looking to build their the city's art collection a little bit more, and they do have the art that hangs out there hangs for quite a while, at least in the living room area. Not all the time. It is subject to change. It's not permanent, but it's kind of like a personal living room where you kind of want to switch things up every once in a while. And that is different than the galleries. The galleries change every month or 2 months. So, but this being our city collection, they would be up for a good long time, but this wouldn't be considered permanent. And I love that the camera is showing the pieces of art that are slated to go up there, because we can't see them great from where we sit. Thank you.
Anyway. Thank you. Eventually, I'm looking, behind me, we have talked for a long time about doing a piece of art that would either have the city logo or something, City of Kaiser, that would be behind us rather than the blank wall. So hopefully we can move forward on that at some point. It was discussed years ago, and there was cost considerations, and I think it got lost in the shuffle. So I would like that to raise that back into the Kaiser Public Arts Commission long-range plan, that wall.
And may I follow up?
Please.
And to clarify too, the city council did approve the moving around of the art. So city council still has the final word on what is hung where, but it just gives the art commission authority.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to these walls being a little bit less monochromatic. All right, any other comments? All right, Councilor Reed.
I move the Kaiser City Council add the 2 northernmost acoustic panels on the east and west walls of the City Council chamber to the list of places Kaiser Public Arts Commission is allowed to hang the, can I start over?
Sure.
Because I'm not liking that to be that specific. So I'm going to broaden this a little bit more than
Oh,
what's
good,
in
because
the
I was about to
packet.
do a friendly amendment. If you want to finish it, I'll
Okay.
amend it.
Good, all right. So I move that the Kaiser City Council add the council chambers to the list of places the Public Arts Commission is allowed to hang and rotate city-owned art.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council add the City Council chambers to the list of places that the Kaiser Public Art Commission is allowed to hang and rotate city-owned art. Thank you for that change, because I was going to make it in a friendly amendment. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying no. Motion passes unanimously with one absent, Council President Smith. Thank you. look forward to this becoming more colorful. That takes us to the consent calendar. Councilor Reed, would you please read the items on tonight's consent calendar?
I will indeed. Okay, there are 2 items on the consent calendar for this evening. A, surplus property, and B, approval of August 1st, 2022 regular session minutes.
Thank you. Are there any polls? Councilor Reed.
I move the Kaiser City Council approve the consent agenda.
Second.
The consent calendar has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously. Councilor Herrera,
Just out of curiosity, I got a question for Chief T.
do we want to do that
Are you
under,
with me?
do we want to do that
In
under
looking over the
reports?
property, the list of items.
Oh, okay.
And looking over the list of items, what is David's bridal wedding dress? That's not Zavala's, is it? What it says
Councilor
David?
Herrera.
No, it says David bridal wedding dress.
Right, David's Bridal
It's a
is
store.
a vendor.
Is that a vendor?
It's a store.
Yes.
Well, I read all the items, I wasn't sure what the heck that was.
Not everything on there.
Because it said Conan Barbarians, I thought it was like some kind of.
No, it is a long-time business out at Kaiser Station.
Thank you.
And Madam Mayor, and by the way, not
Chief?
everything on there is from the PD, although that does happen to be something that we surplused. Because it came into us, by the way, we didn't just have it.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Okie dokie, before we get into really sideways, let's go on to other business. This time is provided to allow the mayor, city council members, or staff an opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. And we do have an item of other business, which is the license agreement with Schoolhouse Square for the Cold Wet Eagle. City manager.
Our city attorney.
This goes to Mr.
has
Johnson?
this. Yep.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, you're up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. As I informed the Council last week, and this was an issue that was before the Council previously with regard to the purchase of the statue known as Cold Wet Eagle, which is next to Jersey Mike's on the Schoolhouse Square property. That is not in the right-of-way. It's there as part of a regular routine license agreement we have with other property owners for art. Unlike other situations, so this is owned by the city, the other art is under an exhibition agreement with the artist. And the issue was at least a preliminary commitment by the Schoolhouse Square owners to donate $5,000. And we had contacted him, and he kind of appropriately said, well, that's really, I'm fine with that, but I kind of want to know that it's going to stay. And I discussed the matter with the city manager, and we felt that stay of meaning forever was kind of a long time. So how about 10 years? And he accepted that preliminarily. So a commitment from the city that the art is owned entirely by the city, but there would be an amendment to the current license agreement for a commitment by both sides that we wouldn't take it for 10 years and he can't kick us out for 10 years. And we felt that was appropriate, but on the other hand, it was a situation, although fairly minor, that council was interested in, so we wanted council okay for that. So that's the reason we brought it before you. Since it is under other business, it would be appropriate to have a motion to suspend the rules first, and then if you, after that, if by consensus, by motion, direct us to, I guess I gave you a suggested motion.
You did.
And that would be the appropriate move, but that would be first to suspend the rules to consider an amended license agreement.
All right, thank you very much. Entertain a motion to suspend the rules to take up this matter.
I move, should we suspend the rules?
Second.
The motion to suspend the rules, take up this matter has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed signify by saying no. Motion passed unanimously with one absent. Do you want to go ahead and put the motion on the table and we can discuss? Yes. Councilor Reed.
I move that the city attorney move forward with an amended license agreement with Block Schoolhouse LLC to provide a 10-year commitment for the Cold Wet Eagle sculpture to remain at the Schoolhouse Square property for a minimum of 10 years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council direct the city attorney to move forward with an amended license agreement with Block Schoolhouse LLC to provide a 10-year commitment for the Cold Wet Eagle sculpture to remain at the Schoolhouse Square property for a minimum of 10 years. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying no. Hearing no objection, motion passes unanimously with one absent, and that's Council President Smith. That takes us to staff updates. Mr. Brown.
Madam Mayor and council members, I'd just like to take a brief moment to compliment two things. One was National Night Out. That was my first time participating in National Night Out, and what a great thing to have all our community members out and to be able to visit with them. And then the Kaiser Fest this week was also my first time, and really a great event for a community. And like I said to you before, every community should have a signature event like that, and I was impressed. So.
Well, welcome. I'm glad you were able to enjoy that this year. At its new location, I was talking to you this morning and realized you have no basis of comparison, but imagine that crammed into a small space over on Cherry Avenue. It's kind of like somebody took that little canned snake and took off the lid and went. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Wood.
Nothing here, thank you.
Ms. Davis. Question. So Ms. Vaughn has started?
Ms. Vaughn has been here almost 2 weeks, so it's wonderful. She's a great addition to the city and jumping right in with both feet. So we're happy to have her.
And you are still recruiting for event hosts?
We are, please.
Okay. All right, so it's on our website.
It's on the website. It's open, I think, until the middle of September.
Okay.
Thank you.
So people who like to help people have a very nice time at our Civic Center are encouraged to apply.
Please do.
Please do. All right, thank you. Chief.
We had a good showing and a good time at National Night Out, and thankfully, Kaiser Fest was uneventful from our perspective, which is also very good.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Witham.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Nothing tonight, thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, thank you. Questions from council? All right. That takes us to council member reports. Councilor Herrera, can I start with you tonight?
Thank you, Member. Last week, I attended the Latino Business Alliance with our city manager, and I believe you were there, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Mayor? Yeah, we had a Color Caucus conference, Zoom meeting. That was very interesting. It was very good. And today we had our League of Oregon City State Board. We're in the process of recruiting for an executive director, and it goes nationwide, of course. And I was really impressed by the company that we have going there. But that was quite interesting. We had quite a bit of input. The Color Caucus actually had quite a bit of input on that. And I was really, really glad of that. Anyway, I was also at the Kaiser Fest. That was kind of fun. The parade was cool, but I still think we need a band. We gotta have at least one band. But anyway, that's me. I'm a band guy.
Yeah, a little bit.
As far as Country Glen, I was talking to Parks guys. There has been an uptick in vandalism and graffiti, and it's been a little more than it's ever been. 16, 17 years I've been out there, so I'm kind of concerned about that. But anyway, we watch it. We actually patrol it pretty good every day, so it's cool. And this Saturday, our Kaiser Neighborhood Association Council, they're going to have our council going to have if you're in the Kennedy area or Kennedy family, that community, we're going to have hot dogs and haircuts at the church there right in the corner. It's called the Church on the Hill. Anyway, yes. So from 4 to 6, free haircuts for kids and free hot dogs for adults, for everybody, I guess. Yeah. But the haircuts are pretty much for kids and free hot dogs. So that's our first event ever, and we're looking forward to it. Also, Saturday is my good friend Patrick Lamb will be here playing. So if you haven't heard them, they're pretty cool. They actually are pretty good. And also, today is Olivia's birthday, and I want to wish happy birthday to her. And next month is our 44th anniversary. So looking forward to that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
44 years.
Yeah. She was a child bride. Just saying. Councilor Reed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So there are some back-to-school activities starting to happen at McNary. The sports team's practicing and things ramping up and getting ready to go. I know Keizer Elementary, too, is trying to get their construction done enough to start, and I think some of the other schools around are also scrambling to get that done before the school year, but we have 3 weeks. And Kaiser Homegrown Theater is doing The Music Man starting Labor Day weekend, so opening September 2nd and 1st.
Second.
It is.
Yeah, it's the second.
Yeah, so 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Thank you. And then the following Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. The mayor and I are actually in that, and it's great fun. And it's a great collaboration between Kaiser Homegrown Theater and City Dance Theater and McNary Theater Department. Will be a grand event and lots of fun. So the tickets are on sale now. So if you go to their website, homegrowntheater.org, you can get tickets online. So look forward to doing that. And in addition, we had the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance board meeting last week, and lots of people doing lots of important work in there. We couldn't even fit it in one meeting. And so just good things are happening, and funding opportunities are being diligently sought after, and just lots of really good efforts in that department. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was able to attend the grand opening for the Chick-fil-A. That was very exciting, and welcome Chick-fil-A to our area. I enjoyed National Night Out, which is always a lot of fun. The parade seemed lightly attended this year compared to some years in the past, and I've had a lot of comments from a lot of different people saying that they would really like to see the Kaiser Fest move back to May again, so that's something that we'll have to discuss with the chamber. And August 24th is a Kaiser Community Dinner coming up. We're going to have the No Drama Llama, what's its name?
Caesar.
Caesar, the No Drama Llama, will be there for all of your pictures and everything else. And then just a couple of things from the VCC, Volunteer Coordinating Committee. We've got an opening in the Budget Committee, the Planning Commission, and some youth committee liaisons. So if you have some interest in any of those, go see Debbie or fill out on the website. There's a form to fill out and get that submitted, and we'll listen to that.
Fantastic. So I found out where some of the people who usually are at the parade, where they were at, they were already in line for the rides. When folks got down to the festival grounds, it's supposed to open at noon? People were already in line. People had to open early because they were all ready to go and get lunch and get rides. So it was busy down there. So that was a surprise.
The chamber worked like crazy to get that all put together. Just
oh my gosh, yeah.
To Mr. Shackelford and Mr. Walry and so many others that made that all happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Starr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I too had the honor of attending the Chick-fil-A grand opening, the ribbon cutting actually, and very beautiful restaurant, and wanted to recognize the owner, Clint, and his family came out to Kaiser Fest as well on Sunday. Also recognize our Kaiser Police Department for a well-done National Night Out. So thank you, Chief and team. Corey Filardo and her team at the Kaiser Chamber did a great job. Huge Herculean effort to move that and get that ready. I know Mr. Duran spent many, many hours helping with that, so good job. Again, we had our Parks Board meeting last week. I wanted to just recognize Keizer Homegrown Theater with their production of The Music Man. Their proceeds from all of their ticket sales are being split between some nonprofits in the community. So not only are you supporting community theater, but you're also supporting several community nonprofits in the process. And then last but not least, a tough year for a lot of our families and school supplies with costs, etc. So if you see one of our community nonprofits doing school supply drives, please, if you're able, pick up some pencils and paper and composition notebooks and all the things and donate. So help a lot of our kids and our children in foster care as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Yep, back to school, the sales are everywhere, so we can definitely help fill those barrels. And also, the Kaiser Network of Women and the resource closets, the Kaiser closets at so many of our schools are so important for our students to be able to self-advocate for very basic needs that they have, not only at the start of school, but then during the school year. So check that out at the Kaiser Network of Women through the Chamber of Commerce. Councilor Duran, you've had a very busy time with not only work, but also the Kaiser Fest.
Yeah, yes, Kaiser Fest has kind of taken up my time day and night for the last 2 weeks. So that was what I did most of the time in the last 2 weeks. But I did enjoy the National Night Out. That was really nice to be able to go out and visit with people, the citizens out there. I went to a couple different neighborhoods that I hadn't been at before, and went to one that I lived in and I knew everybody. So yeah, that was kind of nice, seeing people that I hadn't seen in years. But I also went to the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments legislative gathering, which was with Councilor Reed and the mayor out at Spirit Mountain Casino last week. And that was nice to see people that I'd only seen on Zoom meetings. So getting to meet people face to face and talk to them was really nice to, something that we'll get to see a little bit more of now that people are meeting. So it was a nice event.
Right, thank you very much. That event was sponsored by the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, and it was an invitation to all legislators, current and legislative candidates, to meet elected officials from across our 3-county region, city, county, and special districts, all of which are included in our Marion Polk Yamhill Council of Governments. It was very well attended. It was hosted by the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde. Want to thank them for their warm hospitality in providing their space for us to have that gathering. It was very well attended. There were over 80 people there, and it was a great opportunity for us to help legislators and legislative candidates begin to understand the needs and the work that are done by cities, counties, and special districts that they want to seek to represent. We're going to do more of these types of outreach to make sure that our legislators know that they can come to us as resources. When they want to understand an issue, they need to come and ask us, so we can tell them how things are going to work on the ground and in action, rather than just theoretically that they might get in 2 sentences in a staff report. So we want to make sure that they know the Council of Governments and all of the members, including the City of Kaiser, are there to help make sure that they are successful on our behalf. The Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance that Councilor Reed referred to, the executive committee met on the 2nd, the entire board met on the 11th. The big news there is that notice of funding opportunity has dropped. Anybody who has done grants through Housing and Urban Development waits for this every year because they need to re-up their grants. And true to form with HUD, they gave us a huge timeline, she says with great sarcasm. We have to have things into us as the Alliance, which is the collaborative applicant, by the end of this month. They gave us less than a month for our applicants to get their stuff in. Fortunately, most of them are renewals, and a lot of that stuff is going to cycle back in. They'll need their new data, and our staff consultants are ready to assist them. We do have some money for a new application, and assistance, again, is going to be made available. What we baked in, though, was an extra week of Fix Your Boo-Boos. So you turn your stuff in, you have to meet the deadline, but if you want to go back into your application and do some refinement, you have another 7 days after that. So it doesn't have to be pitch perfect when you turn it in. Everything has to be into HUD by the end of September, so we're going to be working like mad to get these applications in, because this is several million dollars, not several million, I'm sorry, over $1 million that comes in to fund some very significant programs right here in our Mid-Willamette region. So that's always, this is only our second year too. We have to remind everybody, our Homeless Alliance is just barely 2.5 years old. So for a 2.5-year-old, we're doing some pretty amazing work. Let's see what else hasn't been mentioned yet. The SEDCOR Board of Directors met at Watershed, which is a local company that is very, very innovative. They invented a new fabric in order to produce personal protective equipment for our hospital. They were running out of everything. They were using whatever they could scrounge up at the beginning of COVID. And Russ Monk and his team invented a fabric that could be produced right here that would provide the protection and was reusable and sustainable. They have now taken this product and continue to provide that for healthcare providers, whoever wants to order that material. That's just one example of the kinds of businesses that we have here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. I got a chance to thank you, City of Kaiser, for making it possible for me to attend the Oregon Mayors Association. Thank you to the City of Newport for hosting this year. We had excellent programs on social media platforms, housing, and statewide city issues. I got a chance to tour Pacific Seafood and see how sashimi is made. It took me back to graduate school when I was working in fisheries. The Hatfield Science Center and their Tsunami Preparedness Center that's on the top floor that you can actually reach by walking up ramps to reach their top floor. And they have constructed that building in such a way that it has a crumple zone that can withstand the impact of a 600-foot ship hitting the side. It can also withstand the tsunami that will happen after Cascadia. It is a fantastic building, and on top of that, it provides state-of-the-art laboratories and instruction. Between now and Cascadia is going to be producing a lot of fantastic marine biologists. We also were at the Oregon Coast Aquarium and visited the urban renewal districts that are in the Newport area. Also want to join everybody in congratulating the Kaiser Chamber of Commerce, numerous volunteers. Also want to thank Laura Reed for taking over the pet parade and pet costume judging contest, Dan for doing the float judging, and for Shani, Kyle, Dan, and Laura for doing the float decorating and cleanup, and Roland Herrera for being the candy captain. So appreciate that very much. Also Bob Palmer and my husband Kevin Clark for operating the tree farm train that we got to ride on. One of the things that struck me from this year, aside from the fact that it was extremely well attended, everybody I talked to said, so next year, how about we do? I didn't hear anybody say, well, we shouldn't do this, or I don't like this. It was all forward thinking. It was all an inspiration to continue to evolve this event. And I thought that was very, very positive. And I encouraged them to send those thoughts to the Chamber of Commerce. Let them decompress for a week, okay? They've just busted their hump getting that event done. But major congratulations. And it was, I think I can safely say, a good time was had by all. Coming up, Trashy Tuesday is tomorrow. Our environmental division is hosting the third in the 4 summer events, cleaning up along our waterways. Paddle Oregon will be concluding their run this year. They're back in person, and they will finish at Kaiser Rapids Park on Thursday. McNary Blue Day is on. It is this Saturday, the 20th, from noon to 4. Come out and support all of our current and future Celts. And then on Tuesday the 23rd, we have SCAS, the Salem Kaiser Area Transportation Study, to work more on our what's the new acronym? Our Metropolitan Transportation Plan. It used to be the RTSP. different acronym, same thing. And then Serve Fest will be here on the 28th by Lake Point Community Church. And that is just some of what's going on in the busy city of Keizer. All right. So with that, I hope everybody was taking notes and filling up their calendars. Anything else before we go to agenda input? So we will meet next on September 6th at 7 p.m. That is a Tuesday. So we will take the Monday off, which is September 5th for Labor Day and the closing day of the Oregon State Fair. We will have a work session, as was mentioned earlier, on September 12th, starting at 6 p.m. Come a little early. We're going to have dinner available for Parks Board member and council, so watch for that email. And we will do our annual Parks Tour, always one of my favorites, and I think many of yours as well. Folks are welcome to join us. We will post online the order of the parks that we will visit, so you can follow along or meet us there. We will meet again then on September 19th at 7 p.m. in regular session and October 3rd, 7 p.m. in regular session. That is all I have on our agenda for this evening. Is there anything for the good of the order? Seeing none, the time is 7:52 and we are adjourned.